Let's just get right into this video because why would I waste my time? If you're a woman, you probably have dad issues. Either your dad has divorced the entire family, or he doesn't treat you right, or he's abusive, and it's very easy to let that my dad didn't hug me enough affect the entire life from dating to finding husbands and even the type of people you associate with. And I just think it could be turned into a superpower. Not having a dad take care of you it just makes you so much stronger than you think, and how you view the world. Growing up in a household where there is a lack of parental figure can be hard, and it's obviously not your fault. If there is any one principle that I always remind myself of, that it's most of the things are not my fault, but they are still my responsibility. So growing up, I always used to wonder that I used to always see my girlfriends having taken care so nicely. It felt unreal to me. Like, you guys are treated so nicely by your dads, and is that even real? What did I do to not deserve that? And the more I've gotten older and kind of just had to reshape how I tell things to myself, I have realized that how much of a superpower it is to not be taken care of. And many of my friends, used to be friends, are spoiled because of how they were fully dependent on their dad and later on their husband and later further along the line on their children. It's very suffocating for me to see that how women end up not having minds of their own, so not having a parental figure, an autonomous dad figure telling you what to do. You end up choosing what you have to do for yourself, and I think that is a superpower. You make a lot of mistakes, you do things you are supposed to do, but when you come out of it, you realize that you cannot depend entirely on anyone, and your life is your life alone. And later down the line, you become so much grateful for not being spoiled. Because imagine if you're spoiled, imagine if you didn't value money enough, imagine if you didn't understand what it takes to earn a day's bread. And it's not like people should have a hard childhood, they shouldn't. But if you are in a situation where either your dad is good or bad, I think it is important to especially pay attention enough to the fact that your life depends on no one else but you alone. And the one quote I always remind myself of is, the winner's gonna win. The winner's gonna win, and the winners are gonna take lessons from wherever and whatever situation they are in. And I just think having a bad childhood and letting yourself waste buried under it is just so much waste, because most potential comes from the people who had to earn it, and we all know it. So I think it's preferable that if you are a woman, a lady who had to take care of herself through bad times and had no male figure to support you, it's very good, because you would have a higher tendency to do great in your career, because in the back of your mind you know that there is practically no one to fall back on, and you just also view men differently. And I think that's the way you should view men. Do not depend on a man entirely, and just change how you view men and relationships and partnerships with men in general. I have few female acquaintances, and their only life plan is to get married to a wealthy man. It's not only heartbreaking for the woman but also for the man. Men usually get attracted to the things that are pretty and beautiful enough, but if we all just know that beauty is just gonna wear down, and after a certain point of time, if you do not have any inherent value in you, people are just not gonna respect you. I remember a line from Gilmore Girls that, who cares if I'm pretty if I fail my finals? So not only men and other people are not going to respect you for just being pretty, but also you. What value do you have for yourself that you show up to yourself in the mirror every day night? What else to look for other than, oh, maybe I'm pretty by the societal conventions. And it's just a very hollow way to live, I think, that waking up every single day and your only purpose is to look pretty and be a bride of a certain man. This kind of world, the world has changed and has become a lot better for women, but I think until and unless women fully change how they behave a relationship and a partnership and how they truly see themselves, it's not going to change for anyone. I think still a lot of women still see themselves as the object, something to be just pretty, someone who has to just be pretty and it's like over, and as if they were nothing to the world. And I think it's also because of their upbringing, also because many women do not have had the opportunity to face challenges or become aware of the hardships of the world. They go back to the little cocoon that their husband or their father made. And it's just such a waste for me. I think it's just such a waste. People like Marilyn Monroe and what happened to them because of their beauty is just very painful. And don't get me wrong, I adore beauty. When I see a beautiful woman, I fall head over heels. And if you're a human being, you cannot truly entirely consider the beautiful things will always attract your eyes unless you are some kind of monk or something. And even if you're a monk, you do have to fight it. But if you're truly honest with yourselves, the real things that actually stick with you made you feel stuff. It cannot make a last, it cannot penetrate your heart, if you know what I mean. And it never makes kind of a lasting impression. I remember when I have had a crush on a boy or a girl or anyone, or have seen a pretty object, I would forget it within weeks. And the people I have the most respect for look nothing like the beauty standard. So I wouldn't say it does not matter, but it matters so little than we give it, and we give it so much credit for. It's so unnecessary. And I think it's just a lot is buried under beauty in the name of beauty. I think a lot of women are going back to the old ways, but I think we as a human species we as women fail to realize that this is what our ancestor women fought for so much, as they fought for women rights as general, the right to not be seen just as a pretty object, and the ability to be human beings and just educate ourselves, get treated like equal human beings with equal intellect and other stuff. And I think the power of women is so enormous that the society as a general had to suppress it, had to hide it. And now that finally we are doing some progress, the women themselves are holding each other down. We all know how a woman relies more on a man and cannot trust another woman. We all know how the bond that men share with each other is not at all the same with women species. And or unaware, most women are just fighting for male attention and male validation. And even though most of it was biological, I think with changing time, we have to see that if we women do not unite and support each other as a whole, like genuinely, from deep down, and do not hold other women down or do not try to destroy other women, it would have been so much better if one woman did understand truly and try to understand the other woman, because they can. This world would have been so much a better place with less backbiters. So to summarize my point, yes, beauty is important. Yes, pretty things are good to look at. Because they're good to look at, there is nothing else much. That's why giving importance to beauty, I think it's much and more important to give importance to women as general, and the power they have and power they can channelize through education, through intellect, and so many other things that they can do single-handedly without needing a man ever. And even if you have a man who is genuinely happy to take care of you and give you money and these other stuff, it's just not gonna fulfill any of you. Even if a man is very nice and sees you as a person rather than just a pretty object, first of all, prettiness is gonna wither away. So men marrying you only for beauty is gonna wither away as your exterior withers away. Second of all, if a man still sees you as a person, I think he's just not gonna have that much respect for you. If you put yourself in his place, you will see that how a person who has no goals and has nothing to do of potential and challenge and something worth and doesn't pursue something worth pursuing, they are less respected, less attractive, and less loved. So not only will your man not quote unquote respect you, but you will also quote unquote not respect yourself. And it's just, I don't think we would want to even have a partner that does not respect you. And if you try to say, oh, but this is who I am, and this is who I am, and you should see me for who I am. Most of us do not even know who we are, and it's foolish to deny that who we are as a person is largely what we do. So if somebody asks you who are you, you're gonna think, well, of course it's my value, what I think, and what are my opinions, but mostly it's what you do. Mostly it's your actions. So you cannot separate what you do from who you are. So if you stop just doing, you stop being. So my concluding statement would be, if you have a partner who takes care of you, good. And it doesn't matter, you have to have your own stuff going on, otherwise you will lose the light. And if you don't have a man, it's well and good as well. I would like to say it's just equal. It doesn't matter. Like, the whole point, I think, of this video is just being woman, what it's like to be a woman without interference of a man. I would like to say that professionally, or how you view yourself, shouldn't change according to a man. I like to think it of like this: if no man would exist in this world, would I still dress the same? Would I still talk the same? And would I do the same things that I do now? And the answer should be yes. We should live for no one, especially not for a man. And imagine how a man should feel if they are in that position that you're thinking of. Not only a man is thinking of you as an object, a pretty object, you are using a man for your own personal gain, that is money, and it's just not a good way to function. I sometimes like to think that if I were a man, which kind of woman would I respect? And it's not like men love taking care of people, they do. I love a man who does take care of things, and also, like, it does not matter. What I'm trying to say is that women have to be in such a position that it does not matter if a man takes care of them or doesn't. If a man does take care of them, it's a form of showing love. A man shows love by doing things for you and giving you nice things. But I think if I were a man, I would much rather respect someone as a person who is so passionate about what they. If we just take out the gender equation from it, I think it's so much better if one partner is not using another for each other's benefits. Gender does play some role. From just a humane perspective, I think one partner should be able to respect another just based on how they make them feel, how they act, and what their values are, and how passionate are they about their goals, so much so that they inspire each other. And it's a symbiotic relationship. It's like a give and take. Any partnership or relationship where there is no mutual exchange will not last. So yeah, you should, as a woman, should try to do everything and anything and be successful, and then choose a man who equally values you for that. In conclusion, a man is not the goal. And I think it's important to remind ourselves, because we are so hardwired. From the day we were born, our parents had been telling us, our mothers and everyone surrounding us had been telling us, if you do this, a man is not gonna find it attractive. Who cares? Who gives a shit? And it's like, doesn't matter. If a man is not gonna find it attractive, or a woman, or just doesn't matter. From a humanitarian perspective, if you really want to have love and respect and all these other things, because money you can earn, I don't think we are that helpless as a woman species that cannot earn their own money and has to depend on a man. But other than that, apart from earning your own money and always having something to work towards and for, even though you have the means or not, it does not matter. If you have a father who has all the money that you do not need to work, I think you still should want to work and use your privileges and capitalize on your privileges. And if you do have a husband and you practically do not need to work, you still have to work and do something in order to have a sense of self and have a sense of principle and have a sense of yourself. Do not lose yourself behind the superficial stuff are important, and it's you cannot overlook it, but it's always helpful to keep in mind that it's not important as we think it is.